backdrop of the delivery made by Sir Shirdas Ramphal at the Judicial Education Institute of Trinidad and Tobago, I stand in support of his statements and urge our regional leaders to develop and execute a public education campaign on the Caribbean Court of Justice, as well as begin preparations for both popular consultations and democratic reforms necessary to enable the CCJ among the various member states of CARICOM. As we respond to the rapid and increasingly aggressive pace of globalization, the Caribbean project of regional integration grows in value with a fierce urgency. The successful carrying out of a Caribbean single market and economy is critical to our survival. The Caribbean Court of Justice will hold the power to apply and interpret the Treaty of Chaguaramas as revised to create the CSME. To this date, Barbados, Guyana, and Belize have accepted the CCJ and as a final decision-making place on appellate matters. Of all the member states in the Caribbean, we appreciate the bravery of some of our nations, and again, we call for the Caribbean community to fully participate in the CCJ. The lack of support, political will, and public skepticism surrounding the CCJ raises questions that the Caribbean community must confront if we desire to go forward. Why is there a lack of political will by our regional leaders for signing on to the Caribbean Court of Justice? The Caribbean Commission, in a Time for Action in 1992, posed the question, can the West Indies produce a court that will function with independence and erudition of Judicial Committee of the Privy Council? If this question is not answered in the affirmative unanimously, it brings us to a particular troubling issue that we seek answers for as students of the Caribbean, students of the University of the West Indies, students who even write Cape Caribbean Studies. Can we produce legal minds that will function with the independence and intellectuality needed to later furnish the Caribbean Court of Justice? And if any matters of Caribbean jurisprudence and issues of confidence as it relates to the high quality of the region's legal profession and judicial system are being raised, what message is this sending to the young legal minds in training at Hugh Wooding Law School, the University of the West Indies? Then we ask ourselves broader questions. With the debatable performance of West Indies cricket team in the last decade, when public opinion and powerful interests engage in nationalistic dialogue that may introduce a dangerous divide to our regional team, can we tell ourselves that one of our last bastions of regionalism is still alive? And finally, if regionalism as an abstract concept cannot translate itself into the political, judicial, economic spheres, but most importantly into the minds and hearts of Caribbean people, then why are we here, all of us, beneficiaries of our founding fathers and mothers' vision? Indeed, the Caribbean Court of Justice will raise concerns to the focused intellectual, and it will also pose immediate challenges in its fruition. However, we hold the view that we must eliminate all insipid forms of Caribbean self-doubt. We have the unwavering belief that the legal foundation laid here at the University of the West Indies, at our CXC examinations at any institution in the Caribbean. As a Caribbean student, with confidence, we take pride in our ability to think critically, reason, and accept the responsibility of our decisions to create an important, independent, sovereign, and progressive Caribbean. These qualities are indicative of the Caribbean student who has laid their Caribbean foundation in the values and visions of our region. When questions surface regarding the competence and quality of intellectuals of our region, this indirectly slashes at the capability of Caribbean institutions to produce individuals of the highest caliber. Most of our leading minds today would have passed through the doors of our regional institutions, more particularly the University of the West Indies. Are they saying that they themselves are incapable of leading us? Are we incapable of leading us in this era of self-determination? The time has long gone and we must do what is necessary to eradicate this plague of self-doubt.